Hi, so today I'm going to show you how to throw off the hump. So basically you get a big lump of clay and then you can make tiny little pots off the top of it just by centering the top bit and making what you want. So today we're going to do a raku firing at the weekend. So basically I'm going to make a load of little bowls to do some test tiles with. So yep. So throwing off the hump, basically we have a big lump of clay, so it's about maybe 2.5–3 kilo. But don't worry if you haven't thrown with something that size before, because you can just centre the top bit. You don't have to centre the whole lot. As long as the thing's stuck onto the wheel head, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to start. Go fast, push down onto the wheel, onto the clay, so sticks it onto the wheel head. And then I'm going to push into the centre. And I could leave it like that if I wanted to, but it's going to do me head in. So I'm going to centre it just a little bit on the top. So if I squeeze it up into a cone sort of a shape, so it's not so wide on the bottom, and then the top bit I'm going to narrow up, and I'm only going to use, actually I might start with, I might make like a mini vase or something first. So grabbing that top bit there, so this is a continuation from the mini wheel that I had out the other day, just to show you that you can make small stuff on a big wheel as well. So I'm basically going to use this much clay. So that bit's centred from there to there. Not worried about the rest of it because that's not what I'm using. I'm still going to do the same thing, push in with my finger into the middle. And then I'm going to pull it out a little bit. And then I'll push it in. And then you can start throwing. So this finger's kind of well below the base of the pot, because sometimes it's hard to judge and you kind of cut it off and you end up cutting the bottom out of your pot. And slow it down a little bit. So I'm just making a cylinder, tallish cylinder. I'm saying tall, it's not, it's tall compared to the size that it is. Neaten the top off a little bit. And then I think I'll push out and make it bellied. So I'm pushing out with my inside finger. So that's making a nice little vase shape. If your finger starts sticking because it's dry, just put a bit more water on it. And then I'll collar that in a little bit more if I can. So we've got the belly in the middle there, and then it goes in and then out, and it just flares the lid a little bit at the rim at the top there a little bit. Tidy the rim up. And then I'll use my rib on the outside just to get rid of most of that slurry, slip, goo, whatever you want. I'm just going to double check the thickness of the base. And then I can stop the wheel. I haven't got the little tool that I usually use, which is like a thread on a stick, like a loose thread on a stick, so I'm just going to use this. But be careful when you take these off, because sometimes it slides off. And then you can rinse your hands off, dry them, and then you can lift your little pot off, and then you'll be able to trim that tomorrow when it's a bit drier, and I can get rid of this thickness here so it looks a bit more elegant. So I'm just going to throw a few little quick balls now for you. So as I say, these are just going to be test balls for the raku firing that we're doing tomorrow. So they don't have to be perfect by any means, which this one's not. It's already got a wobble on it, but that's fine. So push in there at the bottom, and then it gives it a definite bottom on it, and then pull it out. And what I'm doing is I'm making the right shape inside, because I can trim the outside if I want to. So I'm just going to use my sponge. And kidney. So that just gets all that excess slip off on the top there. And then stop the wheel, and again just wire it through. Dry hands, and then use your fingers like that, so it's your fingertips that I'm using, and I can just go in like that and lift it off, and then pop it down on your board, which is over here. Yep, so that's it. So I'm just going to make a dozen of those. So I'll show you them tomorrow when they've been trimmed. Thanks for watching. So I've got down to the last little one that I'm doing. Oh, and here's the dog's back. So wear that off. And pop it on the board. And then with the last bit, I'm just going to do a bigger bowl. I could keep going and get another 3 or 4 out of there, but I've got about 17 or something. So I'm just going to make a bigger bowl, and then I can do all the glazes on one bowl and see how they react with each other. So centre it as you normally would. So I reckon there's probably about 600 grams here now. Centre it as you normally would, and then hole in, but I'm going in at that sort of an angle rather than straight up and down. See if I can show you with my finger. Rather than that angle, I'm going in like that. And then that's like a V shape in the centre of the bowl. So that starts to get a bowl shape already. Put a bit more water in, and then I'm just going to pull it out towards myself. Make a nice curve on the bottom. So it's a shallow bowl at the minute, but I'm going to push the sides up with my left hand, and that starts to make it deeper, and then I can pull the walls out. And then I'll be able to trim this tomorrow. So I'm just stopping, now you can see where my fingers are there. I'm not going over the edge, because that'll make it a really thin edge in places. So I'm just stopping before I go over it. And then I'm going to flatten the edge off of my finger. I'll get the water out of the centre. And then tidy the outsides up. Now we'll have to trim this tomorrow as well, or later on today. And then wire it off. I'm going to leave it on the batt until it sets up a little bit, because I don't need to take it off, that's all I'm doing today. And then I shall show you that's the bowl that I've just made. And then these are the little ones. So they'll be drying out today, and I'll trim them tomorrow, and then I'll show you what they look like before they go in firing.